Overweight single mom who lives with her parents wants man who makes $5 million a year to marry her under a prenuptial agreement that he doesn't have access to the wealth in a trust that she doesn't know the rules of or how much is in it. Does that summarize it?
Yeah, but I get it. I'm overweight.
That's not the key and point. What I'm looking at is the idea versus the reality of the thing.
I think what he's just trying to say, it's a bit not realistic. I mean, $5 million a year.
That's why, and I keep saying these are my standards right now. It can change when I meet the right man. God doesn't know what he's going to put for me.
Why would God send a man with $5 million to suffer?
What?
I'm sorry, wait, how would he suffer? How would he suffer?
If we are to assume for a moment that you think, okay, I'm a prize or I'm the prize or whatever, I wonder if women ever internalize this in their prayer of the thing I want thing, I pray for thing, that you might, right? And if you did, why would God send a man to suffer for you?
Another thought that doesn't cross their mind is, why would that man want anything to do with her? For some odd reason, the ones with the most ridiculous standards also have the idea any man would be lucky just to be around them, when in reality, this isn't the case.
I think I just got rear-ended as hell, dude. Oh my Lanta!
Oh my god.
Oh, it's okay, girl. It's all good.
Oh my god, I'm gonna cry. This looks like it passed in 3 days.
This woman told her daughter for 16 years that her dad molested her when she was a kid.
It's hard for her to know how to feel when it's been pumped in her head for 16 years. Something that didn't happen.
Don't start that, please.
It's not your fault.
I love my mom.
Nobody is asking.
You would be shocked how many accusations like that happen. When I was interviewing men that were victims of divorce rape, there's one guy I interviewed that was his job. So his job was when a man was divorce raped. And when I say divorce raped, it just basically means a woman is pulling the nuke button in divorce. So she's using every possible tactic. There's a book called How to Destroy a Man, and it teaches women the step-by-step guide of how to use the false accusation system against men. So you would be surprised how common that is. And this man that worked with those men told me that there's a ton of men every year that commit suicide because of accusations like this, because the whole town thinks they're a pedo. And a lot of times, because family court is not based on evidence, it's based on a balance of probabilities, those men can still lose access to their children. So a lot of times women go to family court where they know they don't actually need evidence. They pull these accusations. They may even post on social media about how they ruined this guy's reputation. Some of them even go so far to say this stuff to them.
They do it because they know they can get away with it, with little to no punishment for their actions. When there's not enough punishment for engaging in certain behaviors, people will be a lot more willing to do it because they are aware that they will most likely get away with it.
I'm aware that I'm not a man and I will never be a man. However, I'm not willing to debate what I'm about to say. So I low-key feel like now that I've healed and I look at relationships differently, men get the short end of the stick because you're not allowed to be sensitive, but how dare you not talk to me about how you feeling? Don't be emotionally constipated, but if you tell me too much how you really feeling, then I don't believe that you're man enough for me. I don't want you to be this superhuman all the time, but you can't take that S off your chest. Do not sit the world down off of your shoulders around me because I'm not willing to pick it up and help shoulder it. Like, you can't have boundaries. You can't have standards. You can't require a woman bring something to the table that you set before she was even in the picture. You're not allowed to have a broken heart. You're not allowed to be afraid of love. You're not allowed to have walls. You're not allowed to be vulnerable. There are so many things that the world will not allow you to do, but they also expect you to do the same thing. You know what I mean? The world would have you to believe that.
There you go. I'm gonna send that. Right up to him. I miss you, man. You said he needed a book bag.
I did.
Right? And a lunchbox.
Didn't I tell you to cash at me?
So
Why would I
you
send you
do
the
all
money
that?
when I can go get my own son?
Because I didn't ask for that. Look how that look. I don't want that.
Gosh, there's always something with
Because,
you.
who even told you to do all that? You always do.
Why is it always something with you? I got my son a book
not
bag.
enough or too much.
You always listen. You always say I don't do this. I don't do that in the third for my son. I got his items. Now you mad because I didn't give you the
Any other
cash?
time when you send me the cash.
But remember the last time I sent you cash? You didn't even use it on my son.
You don't know what I. First of all, you're
Oh
not.
my
you
gosh,
don't have
bro.
A job, so to be questioning me about what I do.
You know
with
me?
money is crazy.
You know me? I ain't got a job, but what you know what I'm doing on the side though. Right. Right. What do you mean not much? You just mad because I'm not paying child support. Like you bitter as hell. All the receipt and stuff is in the bag, bro. I don't got time for it here, bro. Like, what's up with you? Like what's really wrong with you? Now let me ask you this for real. Why do you think? No. I want to get to the bottom of this. Like, what is your problem?
In the backseat.
Why do you think
in the backseat
that I'm gonna bring you the money or give you the money?
Like,
She don't care.
Okay, well, stop
She know you a bitter ass mother.
Because my boyfriend gonna beat your ass up. Now, put it in the back.
Boy, talking about boyfriend. You think I give a fuck?
Put it in the back.
Your boyfriend name is Brian.
Ugly. Like, you don't even
Brian.
like dinosaurs. Like,
Here, son. This you. Hold on. You say he don't like dinosaurs?
He's not too.
Son.
What do I need a man for?
What do I need a man for? I've written a few things here that you need men for. Pause to read. If you lived in a hut outside in nature, you would not be asking that question. You would see every day. You would say, what do I need men for? To keep threats away, to keep me safe. They go hunting, they bring back food, they provide, they protect. That's what you needed men for back then. And ever since then, men have worked their asses off on railroads and in coal mines and going to war. And they created civilization, which is way better than that hut. And just recently, you've started to say that it's not fair that men have more of the wealth than you. You want to make the same, but then you also want men to pay. So now we have this fake, fictional situation where you think you're doing this yourself. You think you got up here on your own. But this is really what it comes from. There are men today still overwhelmingly making all these things available for you. You mostly have comfy office jobs. But since you believe that you're doing this all yourself because you can't see what men are doing, you're treating most of them as unneeded. Like this, you're saying, what do we need men for? They're not needed. Even though they are still doing all of this and they're not getting very much for it. So now we have a situation where more and more women think that being a product manager is where all of this comes from, and men are dropping out because there's nothing in it for them. If you don't want a man in your life, that's up to you. But if you don't recognize that this is the situation we're living in, then we're all just in a lot of trouble.
Dating has become a burden due to the behaviors that have become more and more common with time, some of which she described in her video. Because of this, men are now prioritizing their own peace rather than dealing with the double standards and entitled behavior.
Okay, true story, fuckers and fuckettes, right? After spending the past year of my life on again, off again with a man I very much hoped and thought was going to end up being my husband, I've decided that I am officially ready to settle. But not for him. I'm settling on the idea that I'm going to die alone because I have essentially tried everything with you men and I just can't win, okay? I have tried dating different types. I've tried dating outside of my tax bracket, whether it be dating up or dating down. I've dated for love. I've dated for money. I've tried lowering my standards, my expectations. I've tried being submissive and absolutely none of it works. None of you men know what you want from women. You don't know what you want from women like women don't know what we want for dinner, and I am not a shapeshifter or a skinwalker, okay? I can't just change my form on emotional whim, so I am just officially done. I don't care. I have settled on the fact that I am going to die alone. Not only am I going to die alone, I'm going to die alone and rich, probably plastic with some pool boy hand-feeding me plantains between spouts of him taking a battering ram to my poonchok that's going to require absorbent amounts of lube because I imagine within the next 10 years, this baked potato is drying up. But contrary, I am okay with dying alone. So you guys can no longer use this as an insult in my comments. You're going to die alone. Great. Fantastic. Sounds like a plan. Where do I sign up?
Where do single men between the ages of 28 and 40 go on Saturdays? And I don't mean like a specific restaurant or a specific location. I mean, generally speaking. Are they at the gym? Are they at a bar watching football? Are they on a hike? Are they at home doing additional work? Are they at the driving range? Are they getting brunch with their friends? What does a 28 to 40-year-old single man's typical Saturday look like? Because I can tell you what a Saturday for a 28 to 40-year-old single woman looks like. As part of my fall of outdoors, I'm trying to integrate experiences where I get to meet the male species. Every time that I've tried to do that, the places that I end up tend to be proliferated with 24-year-old men screaming at a television about football. For example, my Saturday looks like this. I wake up, I take my dog on a walk, I try to get in a gym class of some sort, Pilates, some kind of stretching class, I take a shower, make a cup of coffee, make my breakfast, and then I try and do about 2 hours of either work or personal errands. And then from about 12 p.m. until approximately 5 p.m. I try and do something social with my friends. We'll go to a bar to watch a football game, go to the beach for the afternoon, whatnot. And then I typically stay in on Saturday night, order in DoorDash, watch a movie, have a glass of wine, and go to bed. What's the male equivalent of that? So I know where to find you guys during the period of 12 to 5.
Ladies, the only time having a boyfriend is worth it is when he is able to fully support you and pay all your bills. I said it, and I'll say it again. The only time a man who is your boyfriend, he's not your husband, if you're gonna be a girlfriend to someone, he needs to be paying all your bills. Otherwise, why is he there?
Who is better at communication, men or women?
Women.
Oh, hell no.
Women are better at communication.
We don't know how to communicate sometimes, you know. We say, yeah, I'm fine, but that means
So then how are women better at communication?
Because men don't communicate.
Women, for sure.
If men are worse at communication, why do so many women expect men to read their body language rather than just be direct?
Oh my God. I don't know.
Are men expected to be mind readers?
Yes.
Is there a difference between what women say that they want in a relationship and what they actually respond to?
Absolutely.
If so, how are women better at communication?
We're not.
But you just said that they were.
I lied. Clearly, I'm not communicating well. Duh.
I went on a date with this man. And I was catching attitude with him. And this man did not react at all. He wasn't mad. He wasn't like, oh, what's wrong? Blah, 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 blah. He just went about his day. Didn't give a fuck. Didn't care if I had attitude. He was just chilling. What my response was to that? I said, I'm sorry. I'm sorry for my attitude and for being moody. I literally apologized to this man. And he played me so well. By him not reacting and by him not saying, oh, what's wrong? And him just escalating the situation, he got me to apologize for my attitude. The lesson here is, don't feed into your girl's attitude.
It's not that there's a lack of men that are willing to commit to women. Here's what I think the major thing is. There are plenty of men that are willing to be in relationships with women. However, they tend to be mostly entirely invisible to women. They're overlooked because women are hyper-focusing on the most attractive men. The most attractive men, the most desirable men get all the attention.
Yeah,
all the attention. And these men, there's no reason for them to commit. They can get all the women, but the women want those men for commitment, but they're not going to commit.
Yes, I will agree that when I was younger, I did overlook good men because I was chasing something that seemed better, that probably was way above what I could qualify for. Those men were dating down.
Are men and women equal?
I don't know at this point. Actually, women are better than men. What do men bring to the world? Literally nothing. Women, the vibes, just everything. Everything is brought to by women.
I completely disagree. You say that men bring nothing in the world. Everything you know and love. If you look around the entire infrastructure of our nation, our economy, every building you walk into, the camera that's filming you right now, the microphone you're speaking to, everything is built, maintained, and it's still maintained to this day through men, hardworking men.
I love how he's mansplaining this to me.
No, I'm serious that the way that you are portraying your ideas and opinions is through technology and infrastructure and an economy and a nation that was not only built but it's still maintained to this day